Hi friends, welcome back to Jira tutorial, Jira software, and this is a second session, getting started with Jira. As you noticed in my first demonstration, that installation of Jira on Windows 8. So it was added as a service. So I just restarted my system and logged in and opened the URL localhost:8080. Up to here you just need to type this much and press enter key. It will ask you the username and password. Enter the details and you are logged in. Now to start with, we created some sample data. Let's understand few terms before you actually create a project. Agile project management. It is an interactive approach to manage software development projects that focuses on continuous release and incorporating customer feedback with every iteration. This will reduce waste and increase transparency while quickly addressing customers' ever-changing needs. So basically it is a stark change from waterfall project management that focuses on big bang launches. Agile helps software teams collaborate better and innovate faster than ever before. Traditional Agile project management can be categorized into two frameworks. One is Scrum and second is Kanban. The Scrum is focused on fixed length project iterations where we know the size of the project, where we know the features more or less in advance. While Kanban is focused on continuous releases. Upon completion, the team immediately moves on to the next. So we are going to create a fixed length project, that is Scrum project. How Scrum works? Scrum is a framework for Agile project management that uses fixed length iteration of work called sprints. There are four basic ceremonies that bring structure to each of the sprint. It all starts with the backlog or body of the work that needs to be done. In Scrum there are two backlogs. One is the product backlog, which is owned by product owner and which is prioritized list of features, and other is a sprint backlog, which is filled by taking issues from the top of the product backlog until the capacity of the next sprint is reached. Scrum team have unique roles specific to their stake in the process. Typically, there is a Scrum Master or a champion of Scrum method for the team. The product owner, who is the voice of the product, and the Scrum team, who is going to work on the project. So the four ceremonies are sprint planning, a team planning meeting that determines what to complete in coming sprint. Second is sprint demo, a sharing meeting where team shows what they have shipped in that sprint. Daily stand-up also shows the stand-up, a 15-minute meeting for software team to sync, and retrospective, that is a review of what did and what did not go well. So first step is create a Scrum project. Let's create a Scrum project. We are going to create a Scrum software project. So let's select this first option. In this project manage Scrum software development, use this project to manage Agile development project, as I said. And this is going to be workflow, to do, in progress, and done. These are the issue types: bug, task, subtask, story, and epic. So Scrum, the project title is education website. Let's say learning management system. Learning management system. So LMS is going to be our website. In the website, of course, I'm going to talk about our own website, the Skillpedia. Now, the Skillpedia, if you look at, this is the website I'm going to refer. I have some of the stories already created so that I don't waste time in creating stories. The project is created, simple, you just have to give the name, and this is the website, how it works. Okay, this is the page, and I'm going to refer to the course contents, where you see the course content of all pages and all courses where I can subscribe. So I'm going to write some user stories about these few topics and login page. So I have the stories created. These are the user stories, the Skillpedia website. So these were written long back around in 2008, 2018. I told you that I'm back after 2 years. So some of the stories were created at the time website was not live. Now the website is live. So as a visitor, this is the story, first story. As a visitor, I should be able to browse the courses offered at the Skillpedia so that I can choose the right course. So this is my first story. So here, what needs to be done. This is a backlog. Right now, you see there is no backlog. So what needs to be done? This is my first story. This needs to be done. As a visitor, I should be able to browse the courses offered at Skillpedia, and so that I can choose the right course. This is the new story in the backlog. Alright, you just press enter key and it will save, and you see the first story is created. Second story, I'm going to add, you need to add 6 story at least to create a first sprint, right? Let's create that. This is my second story. As a visitor, I should be able to see the course content for a given course so that I can see the depth of the course offered at the Skillpedia. Let's press enter key. Second story is created, and you see I'm talking about the course offered. So you can see all courses. This is what I'm trying to refer. I want to see, we should be able to list the courses, display the courses offered at the Skillpedia. Second story, I'm talking about course content. Alright, where you can see the course contents of every course offered at the Skillpedia, like OpenStack training. So you see the OpenStack training course details here, comprehensive and depth of the course, which you see related to the specific to this particular course. So I should be able to see the course content for a given course so that I can see the depth of the course offered. And as a visitor, I should be able to see how the website works. So naturally, when you are working on a website, you need to get well versed with the software website interface. So this story I definitely need to see. All right. So 3 stories are created. Now it says you can create a sprint. Let's create another issue. We'll create 6 issues at least. As a site member, I want to describe myself on my own page in a semi-structured way so that I can people learn about me and others can learn about me. That means I'm talking about the profile of visitor. When you register website, I should be able to describe myself. I'm talking about registered users. Alright, now we have 4 stories, and obviously I can also write here as a visitor I should be able to register myself as a student so that I can take a course. Alright, so as a student, as a visitor, I should be able to register myself as a student so that I can take a course on the Skillpedia. So this is another story. Now if you see, the sequence is not right. This is my backlog. Now in the backlog, I don't see the right order. Order is, this should be basically how the website works should be on the top. How the website is going to work. So that should be the first story. So let's take this as first. So you can prioritize the stories by just simply dragging them. Alright, so I have just created 6 stories, 5 stories, and I have changed the order. If you want to change, you can simply click on it and see the difference here. Once you have clicked, you can see the story name learning management system. As a visitor, I should be able to see. You want to edit it, you can edit it. Click on estimate. Right now you have not given any estimation. Alright, so components, labels, right now we have not done anything. Right, so first part, creating a Scrum project, we have done that. Second part, create user stories or the task in the backlog, we have done that, because we call these user stories task or bugs or anything as issues. So what we have done is we have created issues. 5 issues are created quickly. So what are basically user stories? You need to know a few details about this. In Agile framework, user stories are the smallest unit of work, and they are written in the format like as a. Now within the code you can see here type of visitor. You see 2 type of visitors here mentioned here. One is visitor, one is site member. So type of user, I want the goal, and then benefit. So that means there are 3 mandatory point. One is the user with whom perspective you're writing, and second is what you want to achieve, that is the goal, and second the benefit, third the benefit of that. So if you look at this example was based on the website theskillpedia.com, right? So as a customer, for example, as a visitor, I should be able to create an account on the website. As a visitor, I should be able to create myself or register myself on the website. User stories are sketched out by the product owner, the website owner. The sketch of product owner will give the stories to you, and then entire product team collectively determines the requirement. These are the granular pieces of work that help define the implementation items for the story and upcoming sprint. Once you have created 6 or more user stories, even right now if you notice there were 3 stories were sufficient, you can start prioritizing your stories in the backlog. Now in the backlog you prioritize, you simply by dragging and dropping them in your backlog. So you can simply move up and down at the moment the way I showed to you. So you can decide the sequence, that's not a big deal. Third step right now which we have to do right now is estimating the stories. This is the most important part. We are going to estimate our story. Right now there is no estimation. So the estimation, before you begin your first sprint, it is important to estimate the stories in the backlog so that you can determine how long chunk of work will take to complete. How this estimation is done, that's something a very interesting point. Traditional software teams give estimates in a time format like days, weeks, months, but Agile team have transitioned to story points. So we give story points to them. The story points rate relative effort of work in a Fibonacci like format: 0, 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 20, 40, 100. It may sound counterintuitive, but that abstraction is actually helpful because it pushes the team to make tougher decisions around the difficulty of work. Estimates will also help you gauge how much work you should add to the next sprint based on the number of team members you have. After a few sprints, your team will get better at figuring out how much work they can do each sprint, right? Which will help avoid you over committing. So in Jira, you can estimate issues by just going to this backlog and clicking on the story and just specify the event. So the first, I should be able to see the website. So I should point it at, let's say 0.5. This is quite simple. So for me the story point are 5.5. All right. Next, I want to give efforts to this also. As a visitor, I should be able to browse the courses. So let's estimate this as specify some value here. I'm giving the value of 1 to this. 1, enter. Now this should be able to see the course content for a given course so that I can decide. So this also is good. I can give 1. As a visitor, I should be able to register myself. I'm giving 3 points to this. This is my estimate. And as a visitor, I should be able to register myself to the website. So let's give it 2. So these are the points. These are the estimated points. Now priority, we can decide the priority. What should be the first priority? First priority is I should be able to see the course is available. So I should be able to see course content for a given course. That should be the first thing. So let's decide, change the priority from medium to high. Let's make it high priority. This is important for us, so change the priority to high. You see the priority is higher here. Second is how it works. So this seems to be the flow, and let's make it this highest priority. Thus basically it depends on the need. You change the priority of the projects. This should be the highest priority. As a member, I want to describe myself. This is not that important, so let's make it low priority. So you change the priority of the task based on relative priority of the work to be done on that particular backlog and that sprint. Visitor, I should be able to register myself. This is a high priority job, so let's decide on high priority for this. So these are the priority settings. So I have set the priorities of my stories, and this is the workflow. Let's see the status workflow. Once I've created the user stories, I can see the workflow. Now this is my workflow, you see here. So as a visitor, I should be able to register myself as a student so that I can take. So on this particular story, if you see the type of story, it is a story. Priority is high. There is no label right now. We have not done anything. To do is right now it is unresolved. And description, you want to add a description to this, you can just add it and add the description here. So let's add the description for this particular story, right? So a registration form. So for the registration form, let's refer to the registration form here, sign up. So that should be the actually detail here. So I want to give this profile, account, username, email ID, password. So the registration form should have following fields: like for example username, password, email ID, full name or first name, last name. Of course, if I want to add, I can also add a note: user and facility to register through Google or Facebook. So this is the details of the description of this. So these are the fields which I require. Attachment, if I want to attach a figure, if I have some kind of design work done, so I can add that. Let's take a screenshot and then create the screenshot and attach it. Like if it is some kind of creative work you have done from your teamwork, creative team, like this should be the form. So we can attach that. All right, we can attach that in the user story. So let's attach it, save, and I'm putting it on the desktop, and let's say registration form. So now I can attach it, attachment. So I can go and attach the file here from the desktop. So user registration form. So this way I have attached the form to this story. So you can attach a file, you can attach a file. By the way, attachment is allowed or not, that depends on the settings. So I'll take you to the settings also. Right now objective is very quickly to create a project, to create user stories, to prioritize user stories, and to get started with Agile or Scrum using Jira software. So what we have learned in this session is how to create a project, how to create user stories, how to prioritize user stories, how to assign values, or you can say how to specify the estimates of the stories, describe stories, attach stories. You can assign this to someone else also, and you can decide, log work, attach files, add votes, stop watching, watches. So a lot of things are there which we will discuss right now. Right now it is in progress. The job is in progress. Work is going on, and that's sufficient for this particular session. Next session we'll go into more details. We'll continue the session from here onwards after the user stories are created. Alright, thank you so much for watching.